I got it. All right.
Yes, the stream is live.
Yay. So sorry that we're
Uh-huh.
late. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. So sorry.
Hello.
Had some technological difficulties, but now we are back on track. And I wanted to welcome fabulous Micheline Nader. She's a dear friend of mine. I want to make sure that Micheline, you can hear me okay?
Um, you're a little muffled, uh, but I think I can guess sometimes what you're saying.
I want to guess. Is it still muffled?
Yeah, you have to get a little closer to the mic, I think.
Let's just wait one minute. Give me 1 second. Let's just wait 1 second.
Now you're better.
Better now? Okay.
Yes.
I'm so sorry this happened. This happened yesterday for the first time with my technology. And I just want to make sure that you can see me, you can hear me, that we are good to go.
Okay.
Can you see me right now?
I can see you. There is a little bit of background noise, but I don't know if it's just in my ears or is everybody
Give me
um,
one
on
second.
Facebook?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, everyone, for the delay. These are things that are outside of my control. So sorry, Micheline. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to recalibrate this, okay? Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to fix this. 1 second. Let me try to fix this. One second. We're going to be going live very soon here. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I'm just trying to fix the technology so we have a somewhat smooth, somewhat smooth talk today. Okay, so my cousin just wrote me. It sounds better. Yeah. So unfortunately, they're doing gardening out there, and that's what you're hearing. But I want to get on my computer, and I'm rebooting my computer again. So give me one moment. 1 second. Okay, it's starting to reboot. Can you guys all hear me okay now? It's better now? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So anyway,
Uh,
thank you guys all for coming, and sorry for the technological problems.
Welcome to Mac OS. Voiceover is on. Authentication. Voiceover off.
Sorry. This is Inessa Frey Lieberman, author of Feng Shui. It's my new book that just came out, and for the last month, I have been talking to dear friends of mine, people in the field that have inspired me and that have supported me on my journey in writing my book. And these dear friends happen to also be authors, one of which I will be interviewing today and talking with my wonderful, beautiful friend, Micheline Nader, who has authored two amazing books. Hi, everybody. Everyone's just saying hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. And one of the books is called The Dolphin's Dance, and the other one, a recent release, is called Leap Beyond Success. And we're going to be talking about all things feng shui and, redefine. Miceline's going to help us redefine success, and just let this be an organic conversation. Whatever's meant to be here in service for everyone that's on the call. We're here tapped in, tuned in, with you. So, Micheline, maybe you can tell us a little bit about. Well, actually, before we go into your journey with your book, I want to give a little bit of a background about you and I and how we met. So it was, wow, it was, I want to say 6 years ago or maybe 7 years ago. I was working on the medical team at Canyon Ranch, which is like a holistic integrative hotel, residential, um, kind of it was at the time it was kind of a revolutionary space where people could come for a wellness experience and also live there and partake in this philosophy of living and becoming, a better version of oneself with all the amenities that they offer. And I was the feng shui consultant there, and I had 3 lectures a week. And on this particular lecture, I had one amazing person that came to my class, and it was you. And we started to talk, and thankfully there was only one person because we spent the whole time just chit-chatting. And we hit it off right away, and I recognized you as a soul friend. And you told me about your book, and we just started to share ideas, and we had so much in common. And from there, a friendship blossomed. I think I came over and I looked at your place through a Feng Shui lens. I did a little Feng Shuiing for you. And then you helped me edit my book. And we just had this kind of friendship, collaboration, relationship that's continued to grow. And I consider you one of my dearest friends. And I'm so grateful that you're here today to share your brilliance and your wisdom. You're one of the most grounded spiritual people that I know. Because you both channel those high octaves of light and those high vibrations into these very practical concepts, which are accessible for a lot of people. And you bring them down into language that's understandable and that people can really do something with. Because sometimes, in our world, not everybody can grasp. Like my cousin Maria, who's brilliant, she's on right now, and she always complains that some of the concepts in a lot of the books, they kind of go over her head. She gets them, but she can't really do much with them. And I feel like with your work, you somehow manage to take spirituality and these higher, learnings and, bridge them with practical life types of, things. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about, your first book, a little bit like a summary, and how you segued from writing The Dolphin's Dance into Leap Beyond Success.
Thank you, Inessa. It's a pleasure to be with you, my dear friend. And also, I want to welcome the audience who is with us right now on your social media, my social media, your network, my network, and possibly in the future when we replay this. So it's just for me right now, it's a treat, it's a gift. You put me back to the day I met you 7 years ago, where I went and I had the privilege of being the first and only one in your class. And we talked and we talked. I had already published my first book. You were looking at writing your Feng Shui, and I was like all in it. And it was really, as you said, a meeting of the minds and the soul. And today, I want to set an intention for us and for the audience today, yes, that whatever we say happens to bring something to the audience that is beneficial and will help them specifically in one way they're looking at having help with. Going back to my first book, let me see. Yeah, my first book was The Dolphin's Dance, Discover Your True Self, through 5-step journey into conscious awareness. And I've been an entrepreneur all my life, as you know. Very young in age, I owned my own long-term care. I was like a hospital administrator. I managed like big outfits. I did go to France, Africa, did turnkey projects for hospitals, Canada, and the US, where I had my own chain of long-term care. And I managed to bridge the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be in a pragmatic way. But what informed my leadership was really my personal development and growth. And each step of the way, because I'm a pragmatic person, I look for results and outcome and success. And I feel that every one of us is a leader, no matter what, at any level. Even if you're a mom at home, you're leading your family, you're leading a project, you're leading a community project. Wherever you are, even if you're a solopreneur, you're a leader. You're leading a project. You're leading something beyond what you're doing and sharing it with the world. So I felt that really, and I don't know for you and for the audience, if you felt that leadership in the world cuts the mustard right now or before, even during COVID. For me, I felt that it's so important to reinvent leadership. But how could we reinvent leadership is just by reinventing ourselves. Because by the virtue of being in this world, every one of us has a role to play, and every one of us has to earn and learn how to show up and play fully in the world so that we can claim the leader we were born to become in this world at any level, just by assuming our responsibilities to grow and develop. And I felt that there is a correlation between how we show up in our boardroom and how we show up in our living room. And the people, the leaders who have developed their mindset, their emotional set, that have been in a way freed from the limitations of the past and can really look clearly at the possibilities of the future, are those best leaders. And we need those leaders. We need to reinvent leadership in the world.
So what I'm hearing you say is that leadership is a combination of both being emotionally attuned, taking personal responsibility, and having some visionary capabilities as well. So you have to be able to look into the future and be able to drop into the present, but also look into the future and see what's needed and fill that gap.
Yes, it's very important. And being also in tune with the people around you, with yourself first. So that's why I wrote the Dolphin's Dance as the first step. And then the second step was Leap Beyond Success, how leaders evolve. So
the first step is really a journey of self-responsibility.
Or you could do it concomitantly at the same time.
At the same time. Concurrently, okay.
Yes. And you could do it at the same time. And you have to do it at the same time. Like, as a human beings, we think in a linear way, but life doesn't happen in a linear way. It does happen in a parallel way. And we think that, okay, I'll succeed in my business, then I'll do my development. No, it doesn't happen, because even on your journey of success, you're going to meet challenges. You're going to have to overcome the challenges. And guess who will help you overcome your challenges? It's you. So you, as a human being, you're learning through the process. You're developing, you're growing. And as you're developing and growing through the process, this is informing your leadership. This is making you a better leader, whether you're developing your skills, and all of them are skills, all of them, like even emotional set, you learn certain skills. And sometimes you wish that people who came before you, or people who have attained fulfillment and success, have a playbook for you. But actually, there is a playbook and there is a framework. There is an operating system within us. There are patterns within us that, as human beings, we can, follow that playbook or follow that framework and learn how to overcome certain challenges, how to accept some of them, how to move forward, and most importantly for me is how to leap forward. And that's a very important thing on our journey, because as leaders, we want to evolve. As human beings, we want to evolve. We want to be able to innovate. We want to be able to progress, evolve, and leap. So evolution could happen as incremental progression over the past. Like, I give you an example. Let's say, if it is in product or in sales, let's say you created a cream or a shampoo or a lotion, and you found out that there is another ingredient that if you add to that lotion, or if you add to that vitamins, if you're creating a vitamin, it's gonna make it better. It's gonna enhance it. It will make the absorption in your body better. So you add something to it, and you're constantly innovating. But leap comes from a future that was not there. It's a precipitous act in the evolution. It's something that you foresee from the future. And there is a framework also. There is a framework why, like, you could put yourself in conditions and circumstances in order for you to leap. And this is what I had discovered. This is what I had practiced with my team. And you know my philosophy, Inessa, like, success alone doesn't mean anything. It's like, imagine yourself, you're on an island, everyone is poor, unfulfilled, and you're very successful, you're very wealthy, and you're like, do you really, like, for people like you and me, would you enjoy your life seeing that becomes very lonely?
I think that was the epidemic before the epidemic. I think, right? I think the COVID, one of the benefits, and we talked about this when during COVID, I had you, remember, we did a live with you back then, and we talked about this as being one of the blessings, was that it shook up people to the core, and they had to really sit with themselves and figure out, what does fulfillment mean to them?
Yes.
Because so many people have lived this way, the way you described, like they're on an island and they're devastated, they're famished, so in the realm of soul. Oops, maybe they have every fruit on the tree, but they have nothing on the inner, to feast on. So that's, I think, as you're talking, I'm reminded, when I went to the University of Santa Monica Spiritual Psychology back in 2008, that's where I got my first master's. Our teachers back, and it was a revolutionary school, like a master's in spiritual psychology back then. In 2007, our teachers were saying, like, the future is going to be people like you bringing these concepts into business. That it's going to be necessary for the sustainability of businesses, because people are going to want more. They're not going to be satisfied. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, self-fulfillment is very important. I mean, I feel this is the purpose of our life, is to be joyful and self-fulfilled. And on the spectrum of self-fulfillment, you have people who could be self-fulfilled with very little, accepting whatever life gives them. And these are like the big masters that we always, look up to.
Yeah.
And there are people who need like more to be self-fulfilled. But I felt that being an ordinary leader, I mean, some of them have been very successful. I mean, the most successful, the wealthiest, and as I told you, Inessa, they were not self-fulfilled. That they retired and we can play golf, we can serve on some boards, but still, like, they're not, as if something is missing.
Yeah. And I don't know if that, and perhaps they never even had that as a part of their paradigm, that was something they could attain. I don't know if that was a part of their thinking from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that I just remember having so many jobs and not feeling fulfilled, because for me it was important to align with what my purpose was. And some people, they don't know that, they don't even think in those terms of life purpose. They think of terms of security and safety, security, safety, and power. And so I think if you don't think in terms of life purpose, you're not always going to be including fulfillment on your checklist, because it's not not on your mind to do so.
Right. So some people say, like, what is purpose? And
what is what?
Purpose. And some people don't believe in purpose. Even now, the most, enlightened, whatever you call them, or advanced or evolved leaders, and even human beings, they say, okay, what's purpose? This is like very nebulous. And this is where I found out that, look, and I looked for my purpose all my life, and I didn't think that like every time I found something, I thought, oh, this is my purpose. This is like my mission statement now. And then I move on. No, this was not it. And then at the end, I understood that purpose is not this nebulous word that we all talk about. Actually, that's why the framework of Leap Beyond Success was lean into your passion and execute from your purpose, the LEAP, L-E-A-P, then align your mindset and program your emotions and
Say that again,
create a framework.
People to really
So
hear.
it's like LEAP
Yeah.
is lean into your passion,
Okay.
execute from your purpose, align your mindset, and program your emotions. Once you do this, you have to keep in mind that you're putting yourself, a framework to put yourself in the best conditions in order for you to leap, because now you're open emotionally, you're open with the why, your why for your existence. Because what is purpose? Your purpose is the intention behind your existence, your, in a way, raison d'être, right? Which gives meaning to your actions in the world. It is the connection to something bigger than yourself. Because where we feel that, where we're not fulfilled is even when we have a goal. Let's say, I'm going to give you a practical example. You want this Ferrari and you wanted it all your life, right? And then you get to a point where you get the Ferrari and all of a sudden, is this it? So fulfillment is not only to attain your goals. Fulfillment is beyond that. Is now, if that was your passion, how do you contribute your passion to the world? In contributing to something bigger than you, now you're starting to create fulfillment in your life. As long as it is for you and you don't share it, it's nothing. And what I found out, and actually, maybe next week, I'm releasing a free webinar, the self-fulfillment track.
Cool.
For everyone. Yes, if you get on my social media, you'll get it like for free, and I'm gonna be, live and with pragmatic exercises to get to, not only closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be, which is a definition of success that I found for most people, because success is really personal. As I said, like, what is your definition of success? Let me ask you, Inessa, what is for you? What does it mean, success for you?
Oh, for me, success is when I can use all my natural talents and gifts to contribute to the up-leveling and to the elevation of other people, and make money. That's the bottom line.
I mean, making money is gonna come if you're passionate about what you're doing. I mean, making money is a product of
it is. But I want to say one little thing about that, because I remember many years ago I heard something from Neil Donald Walsh about this that really struck a chord in me. And he talked about how, you can have a career that you could have a career that is not your purpose, but you can be your purpose inside of your career. I'm rephrasing him. So like my purpose is to elevate, to enhance, to bring people up, right? So I could do that anywhere. I could do that working as a barista. I could do that working as a gardener. I happen to choose, the work that I do, which allows me then to express my natural talents and gifts. So for me, the expression of natural talents and gifts are very important, but that's not necessarily the case for everybody. For some people, they can be a space for peace or a space for joy and humor inside of any career.
Yes, and what you said is very important, and it goes back to leap, because when you lean into your passion, you may have so many passions in your life, right? But you lean into your innate passion. It's very important to discover what comes easy to you. What is it that makes you alive and joyful? And you may have many of those, but a lot of people who talked about purpose found out, like for me, I started my life by being I had my Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I did this for a couple of years while I was studying to do a Master of Public Health and hospital administration. So my passion was to take care of people at first, of patients. Then through being a hospital administrator, my passion was to organize systems in order to make it better for patients, for quality assurance, nursing, medicine, etc. Then, when I moved to France and I became a consultant to create the program, innovative program for infection control, then turnkey projects in Africa to provide healthcare for people who do not have healthcare. Then started long-term care, and I was passionate about that. I remember my grandmother died, and she was far away from me, and I was devastated, and I wanted to take care of every elderly person in the world, And then I started my long-term care facilities in the Midwest, and I was like, you tell me about an elderly, a senior person, and I was like so passionate about it with my team, creating teams, telling them like, look, if they ask you for something, it may be the last thing that they're gonna ask for in their life, and creating all this. But all this was part of my purpose, and I discovered that all these things that you do and you're attracted to in your life with passion. I'm not saying that the things that you do in order to earn a living because you're obliged to earn a living. And I'll talk a little bit about it here. But I'm talking about everything that you do and you're passionate about in your life. You look back at your life and you see that your purpose was this meandering stream, and all these passions were taking a form through that stream. That's why if you're proactive with that framework that I provide with LEAP to discover your innate passion and to create your mission statement can change every year. Like my mission statement at first was taking care of patients and to elevate their level of well-being. Then it became like taking care of hospital programs to create the best for the patients. Then it became providing care for seniors or for people who did not have means in Africa, and then it became, now I want to affect people at a bigger scale with writing. When I discovered that my biggest passion was my leadership team. When I was an entrepreneur, my biggest passion, my direct reports, like my directors, were referring to me at the Oprah Winfrey, and they love to come to their executive leadership, meeting, because we did not only talk about business, but we talked about how is it for us, to be the best while creating this.
Yeah.
So that's very important. Now, for the people who have to do something to earn a living, we always say, like, love what you do or do what you love. But while loving what you do, whatever you do, love it. Because as you love what you do, if you are aware of your innate passion and what your contribution is to the world, you won't believe it. You'll attract it at some level. You don't know. Sometimes you're working with someone and all of a sudden something opens up. Like in my book, I talk about my friend Michael, who loved, guitar and music, but he worked in another industry. And then one day you meet someone, but you're doing it, right? And then, my friend Gabby, who's a really great oncologist at Mount Sinai in New York City, and who created the music therapy program because he has always loved music, and he created healing with music. He even operated on patients with music.
Wow.
I mean, like, look, it's endless. And
Well, let me ask you a question about that. This is because I have a, I also have a full-time therapy practice, and I have a lot of clients that are in a situation where they're in these very high-end careers. They have stock in their company. They make $500,000 or more a year. They're living in Menlo Park. They have children, and they do their job very well. They're PhD level engineers, and they do their job very well. And they come and they talk to. Why do they come to me then? If they have all these things, because they feel stuck. They feel stuck inside of a system that the more you stay in the system, the more benefits they give you, for example. And, there's also this component of feeling like they'll never be satisfied. They'll never be fully relaxed inside of their job, because there's an element of fear that's pushed inside of these companies that makes them work harder and longer hours. And the fear is that they could lose their job at any moment. Okay. I'm not going to name companies here. And so they come and they talk about wanting to, run away and live on an island or go anywhere, or Costa Rica, somewhere where it's cheaper, although Costa Rica is not that much cheaper, but some other place where it's cheaper to live. But now they have a lifestyle, and they have children that go to, these elite schools, and they're paying a premium. And so what about these people that, have worked so hard, that are immigrants? I'm thinking about even these immigrant clients I have that came young, and how do I help them? Well, first give them your book to read, but then
not only my book,
I
your Feng Shui, or other people.
do a lot of there's a lot of emotional processing around this feeling of being this double bind, I'm stuck, but I can't, I feel stuck, the whole golden handcuff syndrome, but the benefits are so incredible, and I have to support. If it was just me, I could leave. If it was just me, they say I could leave, but there's children, and there's, like I said, the lifestyle, and there's a partner now in the mix. And, I just wonder how to help people like that. And I have so many of these clients.
So, Inessa, I could tell you, we're going to be stuck at any point in our life from time to time. We know this, right? It's not like our path is not paved with challenges. It's what we can do is reframe whatever challenge, and while being stuck, knowing that, look, this is here for a reason. If you focus on the present and you don't do anything out of fear, then the purpose is alignment here. If you're not aligned with the company that you work with, and at the deepest level, if you feel that your core values and the core values, the mission statement of that company is not aligned at all with you, it's your obligation to find another way. Now, I understand that sometimes you have kids, they have obligations, financial obligations. You could do your best while keeping yourself open for something else. And I could tell you, people who got fired, I can't give you a number of of the leaders who became so successful because they got fired, because an opportunity opened up, whether they created their own business or they did something else.
You would say fired because some of these clients that I have, this is what they talk about in our therapy sessions. They're waiting to get fired because they can't do it themselves, because they feel like they're too scared to leave, because they don't want to, they don't want to disrupt anything inside the family, because they don't want to be judged, or they're afraid. And so they feel like if they got fired, that would force them into making different choices. So I do see that and I have seen that, I've seen it all the time where people, they leave a situation that's unhealthy or that's less than satisfactory, and it creates a vacuum and something better comes in. I mean, we know, we live by these principles. We know that this works. It's not as easy to do it, I think, when you do have huge responsibility, but these laws apply to everyone.
Yes, I think you can create your success by design. And this is the purpose of Leap Beyond Success. I mean, and execute from your purpose, you have all the framework, how to execute, how to create your design, how to manifest your mission statement, how to create it and how to manifest it.
Is the first step, would you say the first step is identifying one's core values?
Actually, no, your innate passion, because your core values is part of your mindset and you work on it to align it. But I think the first step is to really know what makes you alive, what you're passionate about. Because if you can create your passion and manifest it right here and now, is your path to fulfillment. Now, you may create many passions on your way, but to understand why you do what you do, why you're passionate about this, to understand that why, which is really your purpose. It's not the nebulous thing. It is like, what is my contribution with this? When you feel that whatever you're passionate about is contributing to someone bigger than you, right? This is where fulfillment kicks in, because it's not only about you. It is.
That'd be like your children? Are we talking about?
It becomes, yes, because now this is where you don't feel the time, where you're in the zone, because you're creating, if you're able to do that and create it. If you're not able to create it right away, just by being aware, that aware is like half of it, if not all of it, because in the universe, because Feng Shui and the energy, let's go back to you, Inessa, in the energy, you're creating it. It manifests in the energy. And if you are open enough, if you are happy and fulfilled and joyful as you're doing what you're doing, knowing that this is a stepping stone, but you know where you're heading, you're attracting it. And there is a framework where you manifest your mission statement.
That's important to remember, that even if you can't see it, it's still it's in the creation process.
Yes. If you are constantly being at the feeling level, that's why I say, like, in the program, that is program your emotions. I mean, people say, like, program your emotions, like we know how to manage our emotions, to know our triggers. When this trigger happens, then how to deal with it. But how do you program your emotions? And I say, yes, there is a framework where you can program your emotions. And you know very well, to manifest something, you have to attach to it the feeling and the emotion in order to create it and to manifest it.
Yeah, thought and feeling, the signal has to go out with the thought and the feeling attached to it. Yes. And I think what you're saying, though, is to live that way most of the time, to remember to do that. So when you're sitting in a job that you're not feeling happy in, to start imagining what you do want and how you want to feel and where you want to go, even if it's not there yet, and to elevate your feelings in that moment, whatever it takes to get there emotionally, I think is the key. Because sometimes you can't get there just by appreciating what's in the moment, because maybe some people are not unhappy, they're not in great situations, but to put themselves into a vision and then to bring the emotion with it, then what you're saying, then they'll track that, and inevitably either their situation will change and will rise to the occasion and become a matching energy to what they're feeling, or they'll bring in something new.
So this is important. I put it as a fourth step for me, although I talked in the beginning that we should not only be linear in our thinking, because all of this will happen at the same time. But you could elevate your emotional level and your feeling by this being fulfilled, as you know the why and what you're doing. But actually, if you don't execute on it, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's why execute from your purpose is very important, to create a framework by design, to track your metrics, your action plan, your strategy is very, very important. And that's why you have to have a framework, or else you can be meditating day and night and staying here meditating and nothing will happen.
Really?
So your massive action plan is very important. Execution is very important, but executing from your purpose is the noble thing to do, and creating that framework for success. Yes.
Right. So you execute from it could be small step. It could be a small thing that you execute, but it has to come from inspiration, which is the purpose.
Right. That's why you start with that passion and purpose. And this way, what happens, even if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're bringing passion to what you're doing. You know, I've seen people like in organizations, some people were in quality assurance. They were so miserable because this is the last thing they would like to do, right? And they're networkers. Then there are opportunities within the same firm or the same organization to move to that position if you're aligned with the mission of that organization, or you love it and you love the people you work with. And you make it known with clarity, but you have to be clear on what you want and what is it that makes you alive and passionate first, and make it clear. If you're a networker, you probably have this possibility within your organization, or someone else will discover how good you are in doing what you're doing and how you're networking around what you're doing, and they're going to offer you that possibility. Or you can look for that possibility.
There's, that saying, spirit meets you at the point of action. We can't forget to act. We have to execute.
No.
Something, because you're right. I mean, I think a lot about, sitting in meditation and, thinking things up and bringing your energy and your emotions into alignment, into resonance. But if you don't do anything, you're not going to see the same results. And I want people to also know that they don't have to, like, the things that they do don't have to be these huge monumental things. It could be small things.
Yes, absolutely.
And it should feel easy and natural for them to lean into.
Yeah. And you have to have your strategy, but you have to have your action plan. And your action plan is the small goals that you put with metrics.
The small steps.
Small steps with metrics.
Teaching all that in your programs, I imagine. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Well, this is great. I mean, this is so helpful. I think you're going to be giving people such a valuable, such a gift. Anyone that takes your program and goes through this process, and I can think about several of my clients that really could benefit from this program because they feel so stuck. And I'm just wondering, inside of the program, is there, do you weave in the Dolphins dance and some of that work into the beginning of the program?
Actually, some of the Dolphins dance, especially the mindset, the emotional logo of the Dolphins dance, here I apply it to leaders, and I created the leadership emotional logo because it's very important. It's we find out that sometimes as leaders we avoid certain situations, and we deny some projects because of certain failures, and how to deal with failures, and how to reframe it, and also full of exercises, pragmatic exercises to get out of that, and how to program your emotions. So these are applications of the Dolphins dance, but I get a lot of leaders.
Sorry, is the programming emotions aspect inside of the program that you're offering? Yeah,
yes,
great.
Absolutely. And then how to leap, which is it's so important. Leaping, if you study the evolution of human beings and leaders, as I said in the beginning, you could progress by adding some innovative steps every time, or you could leap. And by creating this framework where you're not coming from the past, you're foreseeing future possibilities from the future. And then I have a exercise where you do the foresee, foretell, forereach, where you foresee from the future. You get a possibility from the future, not from the past, not from what was possible in the past. But you won't be able to do this if you're not clear with your past and you made like peace with your past. If you don't know your LEL, your leadership emotional logo, and you're clear with it, then you're going to come from the past, because the possibility, what is possible, what's not possible, is coming to you from the past. But if you clear that, then you can reach to a possibility from the future. This is the foresee. You bring it and you foretell. The foretell is how to enroll the stakeholders, your bankers, your people, your family, your board, your team, into what you want to do. And forereach, how to execute. In the forereach, how to execute smartly, and even while sensing the needs in your field. Because leapers have developed their intuition and their compassion. Because leapers are not ordinary leaders who are preoccupied only by self-wins and personal acquisitions. Leapers are preoccupied by a triple win, where I win, you win, and the society wins, the world wins. These are the leapers.
That's very exciting. So excited.
Yeah.
Hearing you talk about it, I can't wait for a world of leapers.
Yes, I want. This what makes me alive. This is my mission statement: a world of leapers, because
all of us are going to be in better hands. When we're guided by leapers, because then we become leapers in our own life, and that's how it works.
Exactly.
And we become models for our children to leap. So I loved everything you're sharing, and I wish we had more time, because I could just go on and on and on with you. So much to learn from you. I'm so sorry for the technological challenges. These things happen. They're now in the past, and we're leaping into the future where everything flows. And just so grateful. Maybe you could share the last minute or two, like where people can find, your book, and where they can find you online, information about your upcoming programs, anything else you want to share.
So my new book is Leap Beyond Success, How Leaders Evolve. It is on Amazon, but if you go on my website, which is www.michelinenader.com, and /whatever, you get assessments, some leadership assessment or purpose or passion assessments. Some of them are free. You could get also the Clear Lagoon for clearing your mind before doing any exercise. You could get the Audible, and also the free programs that are gonna be up soon. And I said I cannot not recommend the fulfillment track webinar that is coming up in the coming 2 weeks, because I want to see you. And what I learned, Anassa, and I learned it from you as well, that I would ask the audience, if you take a program or you read the book or you do whatever, please review it, because it helps other people know what to expect. And and it helps with the algorithm of social media, because we want to create a world of leapers. We want to create a world that is so passionate about advancing our human condition. And I know if you're listening to this with Inessa, you are a leaper already. And wherever you are, what age, whatever your condition is, I want to tell you that this is possible.
Yes,
this is possible, and I want to encourage you to do so.
Yes,
and Inessa, I love you so much, because I'm a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
You bring the heart. You bring,
Thank you.
And your book. And good luck with Feng Shui.
Thank you.
I can say that this is a book that I recommend to my audience in a heartbeat. I love it too.
Yeah, a little shout out to my book here. This is Feng Shui, a Feng Shui guide for young adults. Change your room, change your life. 60 illustrations, tons of exercises for anyone, any ages. So please, you can find it on Amazon, and we'll talk more. We'll have more opportunities to talk in the future. Thank you again, Micheline. Have a gorgeous day, and
thank you, everyone.
See you soon.
Love you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.